Welcome to the Explainer. So, you're planning a trip to South Korea, which is amazing. And I'm guessing that brightly colored, terraced hillside known as Gamcheon Culture Village is already right at the top of your itinerary. And it absolutely should be. But getting there, well, that requires a bit of logistical know-how. Today, we're diving into the source material to turn a potentially confusing transit journey into a super simple step-by-step quest. We're going to break down the exact routes, the fares, and some real insider tips so you can navigate this hillside like a local.
Okay, let's quickly outline our adventure. First, we'll look at the hillside destination itself. Second, the ultimate transit route. Third, starting from further afield. Fourth, the whole taxi versus walking debate. And finally, number 5, the return trip. Section 1, the hillside destination. We are kicking things off by understanding exactly what makes this spot so unique and, honestly, a little geographically challenging to reach. So where exactly is this place? Well, if you look at the geography of Busan, Gamcheon Culture Village sits right on this incredibly steep hillside in the Saha district. It's about 6 kilometers from the city center, so this definitely isn't a place you just stumble upon while wandering downtown. Its high elevation and narrow winding roads pose a really fun logistical challenge. Because of this terrain, the city's main metro system doesn't actually go all the way up the hill. That means you're going to need a multi-step transit plan to reach those famous colorful alleys. Okay, huge tip right out of the gate. Your very first obstacle is actually digital. You literally have to ditch Google Maps. The source material points out that Google Maps gives you really limited transit routing within South Korea. Instead, you need to grab local apps like Kakao Map or Naver Map. Just paste the village's address, 203 Gamna-2ro, into either of those and they will route you perfectly, right to the entrance without a hitch.
Section 2, the ultimate transit route. Now that we have our destination and our apps sorted, let's map out exactly how to get you up that mountain.
You kind of need to shift your mindset about Toseong Station. Don't just look at it as another subway stop on Metro Line 1. Think of it as your base camp or your literal trailhead. The train does the heavy lifting of getting you across the city to the bottom of the slope, but it's the local bus that's actually going to do the climbing for you.
All right, here is your exact playbook to make that transfer completely seamless and ensure you don't get lost. First, take Line 1 to Toseong Station and head out through Exit 6. Second, walk straight until you hit a small police box, and then take a right onto Bosu-daro. Third, walk just 120 meters and you'll see the bus stop right there on your right. Fourth, you're going to board either the Saha 11, the Seo-gu 2, or the Seo-gu 2-2. Really, just jump on whichever one shows up first. And finally, you'll ride for about 15 to 20 minutes until you hit the stop by Gamcheon Elementary School. From there, it's just a quick 30-meter walk back and a left turn to the entrance. Easy, right? Now, for this 15 to 20-minute hillside bus ride, expect to pay a surprisingly affordable fare. You're looking at 1,300 to 1,600 won. To put that in perspective, that is roughly just over a single US dollar. It's incredibly budget-friendly, but there is a specific trick to paying it that will make your life so much easier.
Check out this insider secret from transport writer Callum Reed. Getting a transit card, like a Cashby or a T-Money card from a local convenience store beforehand is an absolute game changer. Not only is tapping on and off slightly cheaper than paying cash, but more importantly, it spares you the sheer panic of digging for exact change in your pockets while trying to balance on a packed, steeply inclined moving bus. Seriously, it's a small detail, but it drastically improves the whole experience.
Section 3, starting from further afield. Let's look at how this all connects if you're starting from popular spots well outside the immediate area.
Basically, no matter where you are in South Korea, all roads ultimately lead to that Toseong Station transfer. Coming straight from Seoul, you'll take the high-speed KTX down to Busan Station, which takes about 2.5 hours, and then hop on Line 1. If you are already at Busan Station, it's a super quick 10-minute ride south on Line 1. Staying in the bustling Somyeon district, you've got a straight shot on Line 1, no transfers needed. And if you're coming from the beaches of Hyundai, you'll take Line 2 to Somyeon and then transfer to Line 1. It all filters right back to Toseong Station, where your uphill climb begins.
Section 4, taxis versus walking. What if you want to skip the bus transfer completely? Or maybe you're feeling super athletic and want to walk it? Let's compare the options so you can optimize for your own trip. The budget-friendly metro and bus combo takes about 30 to 45 minutes from central Busan.
But look at the taxi option. For 9,000 to 12,000 won, which is still totally reasonable, especially when you split it with friends, you can do the trip in just 10 to 20 minutes from places like Busan Station. A taxi skips the transfer entirely and drops you right at the entrance. This is absolutely the way to go for groups if you're short on time or if you happen to be visiting on a sweltering hot day.
Now, if you're thinking about that 15-minute uphill walk from Toseong Station, well, editor Ji-won Bae hilariously shuts that idea right down in the source text. While the route itself is simple enough to follow, you do not want to exhaust yourself before the fun even begins. The village is famous for its intricate, maze-like layout of stairs and incredibly steep lanes. Trust me, you are going to get plenty of exercise once you are inside, so save your legs for the main event and take the transit.
Finally, Section 5, the return trip. You've conquered the hill, explored the beautiful village, snapped 100 photos. Now what?
So how exactly do you get back down to the flat grid of Busan? The journey isn't quite over until we successfully navigate the descent, which brings up a few final, super practical tips you'll want to keep in mind.
Thankfully, gravity is on your side going down. You can easily just ride those exact same buses, the Saha 11, Seo-gu 2, or Seo-gu 22, right back down to Toseong Station. The return stop is right near where you got dropped off. Or, because it's a descent, you might actually enjoy the breezy 10-minute downhill walk this time. But here is a crucial takeaway if you want a cab. Never count on just hailing a taxi at the top. The narrow, winding roads mean empty cabs aren't just circling the village waiting for you. If you want a taxi down, you're going to need to call one. Which honestly leaves you with the perfect excuse to step into a local cafe, grab a nice iced coffee, and politely ask the staff to call a cab for you. So next time you are staring up at those colorful houses clinging to the hillside, you'll know exactly how to conquer the climb. But tell me, after seeing all these options, are you the type to save a few won on the bus, or will you absolutely be using that cafe trick to grab a cab back down?